Members of the Civilian Joint Task Force operating in Damboa local government area of Borno State have rescued one of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls. Amina Ali was abducted alongside over 200 of her schoolmates in the government girls' secondary school, Chibok, in the middle of the night in April 2014. Secretary of the Association of Parents of the Abducted Chibok Girls, Zana Usman, confirmed Amina's return to Channels Television's correspondent via a phone call. Usman said Amina, who was found with a child with other women in Sambisa following military operations, told the civilian JTF members that she was taken from Chibok. Usman says he has met Amina, who has since been reunited tearfully with the family in Balala village. Governor Kashim Shettima, in a meeting with the United Nations humanitarian affairs officials at the Borno State government, said he's received the news of the rescue, but he's yet to be briefed. Joining us from London is security and terrorism expert David Otto, who's been monitoring the case of the Chibok girls from the beginning. David, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Do we perhaps have more details about this girl who was rescued?
I think it's important that it's very early for us to have more details on this issue. But what we know is that Amina Ali Dasha is 19 years old, and she was rescued from Damboa in close to Adamawa, which is linked to the Sambisa forest. But at the moment, it's still very early for us to give details as to what her situation is. But it's a very happy welcome, because last April 2016 we had 15 girls that were paraded by Boko Haram. But what we're still wondering is if this is one of the girls that was paraded by Boko Haram. But we still haven't had that official confirmation as to who she really is. But from what we know, it's kind of a very it's a relief, for the family of Amina. But this is going to give much more pressure to the government to get the rest.
And so how significant is it, finding Amina in the midst of Sambisa? How significant is it in the search for the missing girls?
This is very significant, but what we have to understand is there's a difference between finding her and then rescuing her, because in security terms, if she was found, it means, there was probably no confrontation with Boko Haram, so if she was rescued, then it means probably there was a confrontation with Boko Haram, and then, as a result of that, she was then rescued, So I think, it's very important. Maybe, the reason why, she was found is because maybe the group itself wanted her to be found, so that it will give much more pressure to the government, to then, probably negotiate, to have the other girls rescued. So we have to look at it from the perspective of, maybe this is a strategy by Boko Haram to put more pressure on the government, that some of these girls are still alive, like we saw in the video on the 15th of April, which, some of the demands which they are making is very, very difficult for the government to actually meet some of these demands. But by actually giving out one of the girls in my own term, it therefore means that, it might be significant in the sense that it's going to put more pressure on the government to get the rest of the girls.
Yeah, but it also sounds counterproductive. If Boko Haram is letting one girl go, it means that one girl could possibly lead them to finding out, where the other girls are being hidden and so on. But what can authorities do now, in light of what has happened? Where should they go from here?
I mean, the most important thing is, this girl is 19 years old and she's been there for 2 years, So if she's been actually left by Boko Haram, to be found by the CJTF by some means, but we don't really know yet, then, you might not know the kind of information that she's been given. So we have to be very, very cautious as to the kind of information that we get. But it's also an opportunity, as you rightly say, to get more information. Because by finding this girl who has been with Boko Haram for 2 years, then it gives us a very good platform for us to try and trace, what has been happening for the past 2 years, where has she been, who has she been talking to, who actually kidnapped her, and where, because it then gives us the understanding that, being found around the Damboa area in Adamawa State shows that, the girls have been spread in different areas. So it gives us a very difficult position in trying to understand where actually these girls are located. So it is a plus for the government, but then also it's pressure, that the government is going to have, to try and see if they can locate, all of these girls. But as we know, it's going to be very difficult. But this is a very important step. How it is managed is very important, very well.